In the complex world of virtual desktops, there's this powerful yet kind of unsung hero working tirelessly behind the scenes. The best way to think about it is as the digital architect of your entire virtual world, the one who designs, builds, and manages everything. So today, we're going to take a closer look at this architect's blueprints to see how it all comes together. I mean, it sounds a bit like a magic trick, right? How can one single thing manage the creation, the deletion, and the security for literally thousands of users and all their virtual machines? Well, it's not magic, but it does rely on a very, very special kind of account that holds the keys to the entire system. So let's go ahead and pull back the curtain and actually meet this digital architect. Now, it's not a person, of course, but it is a super powerful account that forms the very foundation of a secure, automated virtual environment. Okay, so at its heart, the Omnisa Horizon domain account is just a specialized user account inside Active Directory. You can think of Active Directory as the company's digital phone book. It knows all the users and computers. But this account isn't for a person to log in and check email. No, its job is to give the Horizon system the keys to the kingdom. But, and this is crucial, only the specific keys it needs. This account is the bridge between Horizon and your user directory, letting it manage resources, kick off automated tasks, and handle all the security. You know, a good architect doesn't use the same exact blueprint for every single part of a building. Of course not. They've got specialized plans for the foundation, for the electrical, for the plumbing, and in pretty much the same way, Horizon uses two really distinct types of accounts for very different, very specialized jobs. And this slide lays it out perfectly. On one hand, you've got the domain bind account. Think of this one as your diplomat. Its whole job is to build bridges and establish trust between your main Horizon network and other networks that might be out there. Then, on the other hand, you have the service accounts. These are more like your on-site construction managers. They're given very specific permissions to build up and tear down virtual machines, but, and this is key, only within these designated digital construction zones we call organizational units or OUs. All right, so we've met the architect, we've seen the blueprints. Now let's head over to the construction site and see what this crew actually does. What are the day-to-day jobs that these accounts are performing? So here's one of its biggest jobs in action, spinning up virtual desktops whenever they're needed. It's a really simple, elegant process. First, the account proves its identity to Active Directory, shows its credentials. Then it goes to that specific digital zone it's allowed to work in, the OU. And finally, it gets to work rapidly creating or even deleting virtual machines as users need them. I mean, this is the kind of automation that saves IT teams an unbelievable amount of time. But it's not just about creating desktops. Oh no, this account is a serious multitasker. It's the bouncer at the door that securely authenticates your users. It manages the servers that deliver individual applications to your screen. And, like we touched on, it's a master diplomat, bridging connections across really complex network setups with multiple domains or even entire trusted forests, which is basically just a fancy term for when two large separate company networks agree to trust each other. Now, you might have noticed a name change here, and if you've been working with this tech for a while, you probably knew it as VMware Horizon. So let's just quickly clear up what happened. Really, all you have to do is think of it as our digital architect just changing the name on its business card. It's a pretty straightforward story, actually. The part of VMware that handled all this stuff, which was known as end-user computing, was acquired by the investment firm KKR. So as of 2024, it's been rebranded to Omnisa. The technology underneath and the job of this domain account, all exactly the same, it just has a new name over the door. Okay, so we've seen the architect, the blueprints, and the construction crew in action. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the whole finished city. Why is getting this one single account set up correctly so fundamentally important to the entire operation? In the end, it really all boils down to this. This account is the engine, plain and simple. If you don't have it, or if it's not configured right, everything just grinds to a halt. You get no automation, no secure access, no on-demand virtual desktops. A properly set up domain account is literally what powers the entire system, making sure resources get delivered securely and efficiently. So what are the big things to take away from all this? Well, first, security. This account makes sure only the right systems and users get access, period. Second, automation. This is the real game changer, saving IT admins from countless hours of manual, repetitive work. And finally, scalability. It doesn't matter if you have 10 users or 10,000, this account is what lets the system grow right along with you completely seamlessly. And that brings us to a final thought. We've seen just how critical this digital architect is today for building our virtual worlds. But as automation and AI get more and more integrated into everything we do, how do you think its role is going to change? What new kinds of blueprints will it need to start designing for us next? Definitely something to think about.